Indiana takes on Wisconsin, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Wisconsin's minus 4.5, totals 130. We're 4-1 in our last 5 NBA tier package picks on BrockPage.com. We're also hitting at 74% in our last 19 NBA tier package picks in that very same category. We currently have over 820 members who are signed up and active on that webpage. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. But despite their current winning streak, the Red Hot Badgers really haven't, they really haven't been shooting the basketball all that well this year. They're hitting just 41% of their field goals, and they're making only 31% of their three-pointers. They're taking on a 7-1 Indiana team who's done a real nice job defensively this season. They're allowing only 26 first-half points a game, and they're in the top 10 in the country in defensive field goal percentage. The Hoosiers are limiting their opponents to just 35% shooting from the field. Indiana's also holding their competition to just 27% shooting from three-land. Now, scoring-wise, Trace Jackson Davis is dropping 21 points a game, 8 rebounds a night, and 30 total blocks on the season for Trace. Meanwhile, Xavier Johnson is averaging double-digit games himself, 3 rebounds, 4 assists for the guard. Johnson's also drilling 50% of his three-pointers. Indiana's averaging nearly 81 points a game. They're also shooting 50% from the field as a team. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Indy's last 3 got over the line. Meanwhile, Wisconsin saw their last 2 straight get over the posted total themselves. 4 wanted the over in their last 5. I'm going to lean toward Indiana plus 4.5 over 130. Next matchup, it is going to be UConn versus West Virginia, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. West Virginia's minus 3, totals 139.5. And speaking of the total in this one, West Virginia saw 3 out of their last 5 contests get over the posted number, throwing out the Radford game. Mountaineers saw overs against the likes of Eastern Kentucky, Marquette, and Elon. Meanwhile, on the other side, UConn saw their last 3 straight get over the posted total themselves. 5 wanted the over in their last 6. The Huskies also went 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with the Mountaineers. When it comes to picking a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my college basketball tier package pick on BrockPage.com. So if you want to see whether I'm betting on UConn plus the points, or if I like West Virginia laying the 3 in Morgantown, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my college basketball tier package pick on BrockPage.com. But as far as my free pick goes for this contest, I like the over 139.5 in that ball game. Next matchup, it is going to be Utah versus TCU, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. TCU's minus 3, totals 134. But despite being favored in this one, the Horned Frogs failed to cover the point spread in their last 5 straight. Matter of fact, out of TCU's 7 qualifying ball games this season, they successfully covered the point spread just once. TCU's shooting only 28% from beyond the arc this season. They're also shooting just 41% from the field at home. They're taking on a 6-2 Utah team who's allowing 64 points a game. The Utes are also limiting their opponents to just 25% shooting from downtown. Now, scoring-wise, Brandon Carlson's averaging 13.5 points a game, along with 5 rebounds a night and 14 total blocks. Meanwhile, David Jenkins Jr. scoring over 13 points a game himself, along with a couple of boards and 90% shooting from the stripe. Jenkins is also making 41% of his three-pointers. Utah is currently in the top 35 in the nation in shooting from the stripe. They're also in the top 35 in the country in offensive rebounding as well. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Utah's last 3 got over the number. I'm going to lean toward Utah plus 3 over 134. Next matchup, it is going to be Marquette versus Kansas State, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Kansas State's minus 1.5, totals 142. The Wildcats are on a 3-game winning streak, 4-0 against the number in their last 4. They're also undefeated on their home court, and they rank in the top 25 in fewest points allowed per contest. The Wildcats are giving up just 58 points a game, and they're holding their opponents to only 36% shooting from the field. Kansas State's also in the top 5 in the country in guarding the 3-ball. They're limiting their opponents to just 23% shooting from 3-land. Now, scoring-wise, Nigel Pack is averaging over 15.5 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2.5 assists for the guard. Pack is also drilling 49% of his 3 balls. Meanwhile, Marquise Noel is scoring over a dozen points a game himself, along with 3 boards, 3 assists. They're taking on a Marquette team who failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4. As a matter of fact, the Golden Eagles lost by double digits to Wisconsin and St. Bonaventure during that span. The Golden Eagles are making only 32% of their 3-pointers this year. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the court, Marquette's allowing nearly 38 second-half points a game, and they're struggling to rebound the basketball defensively. Now, total-wise, Marquette saw 2 out of their last 3 fall under the number, throwing out the Northern Illinois game. Meanwhile, Kansas State saw their last 3 ball games fall under the posted total themselves, 5-2 to the under for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward Kansas State minus 1.5, under 142. Next contest, it is going to be Michigan State versus Minnesota, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Michigan State's minus 7, totals 135. And as good as they've been recently, Sparty did fail to cover the point spread in 3 out of their last 5 ball games. As a matter of fact, one of those failures was a 17-point outright loss to Baylor, where they scored just 58 total points. Sparty's currently 2-3 against the spread in their 5 contests away from their home court. They're taking on an undefeated Minnesota team who's gone 5-2 against the spread in those victories. The Gophers have played superbly on defense. Matter of fact, Minnesota is currently leading the nation in defending the 3-ball. The Gophers are limiting their opponents to just 23% shooting from 3-land. They're also holding their opponents to just 25 first-half points per game. Now, scoring-wise, Jamison Battle is scoring nearly 18 points per contest, along with 6 boards. Meanwhile, Peyton Willis is scoring over 17 points per contest himself, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for the senior. Now, total-wise, Minnesota's 3-0 to the under at home. Sparty's 7-2 to the under for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota plus 7, under 135. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 4-1 in our last 5 NBA tier package picks. I like Indiana plus 4.5 over 130. I also like the over 139.5 in the UConn-West Virginia game. Give me Utah plus 3 over 134. Kansas State minus 1.5 under 142. Minnesota plus 7 under 135. And as far as all the other games go across the country, give me Xavier minus 18 over 146.5. Chattanooga minus 7 under 133. I also like George Washington minus 7.5 over 143. Northern Alabama minus 8.5 under 134. Northern Kentucky minus 7 over 139.5. Central Michigan plus 12 over 145. Hofstra minus 4.5 over 146. Holy Cross plus 14 under 137. Jacksonville State plus 8.5 under 125. Delaware Blue Hens minus 12 over 141. Give me Lipscomb plus 18 over 149.5. St. Bonaventure minus 17.5 over 133. I like Marist minus 3 under 130.5. Eastern Michigan minus 1 over 137. I'm also leaning toward Northern Florida plus 27 over 139. I like St. Joe's minus 4.5 over 144. Give me Dartmouth minus 2.5 under 136. Samford with an M minus 7.5 over 155. St. Pete's minus 13 over 131 and a hook. American University plus 4.5 under 146. Give me Western Carolina plus 3 over 147. Boston University minus 5 under 134. Penn State and Nittany Lions minus 7.5 over 124. Wofford minus 4.5 over 137. Evansville minus 2 under 131.5. Missouri State minus 13 over 145 and a hook. I'm also leaning toward New Hampshire plus 4 under 138. Arkansas State minus 10 over 143. Buffalo Bulls minus 1.5 over 154. Dayton Flyers plus 4 over 138.5. Colorado Buffaloes minus 16 under 150 and a hook. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns minus 14 over 147.5. IPFW minus 2 over 142. That's Purdue Fort Wayne. I also like UT Rio Grande plus 4 over 152.5. Georgetown minus 6 over 152. Air Force plus 7.5 under 121. Cornell plus 17 over 148. Give me Drake minus 19 over 137.5. South Dakota State minus 21 over 165. Ohio State minus 15 under 137.5. Utah State plus 6 over 140 and a hook. Utah Valley plus 7 over 142. San Diego State minus 12 under 128.5. Fresno State plus 9 over 128. Cal Golden Bears minus 13 under 120.5. UNLV Runnin' Rebels minus 4.5 over 140. Washington State minus 8 over 141.5. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are hitting at 74% in our last 19 NBA tier package picks on BrockPage.com. I'm going to lean toward Wyoming plus 17 under 150.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Rashawn Baskerville, who said earlier this morning, Brock the GOAT. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. If you guys end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. And if you do end up getting a membership here today, you are going to get access to those picks all the way through the end of December. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.